The wait is over, and the Resident Evil 4 is finally here better than ever. Let's look into it. Let's start with the basics. The plot of Resident Evil 4 is rather simple. Leon Kennedy, the former police officer turned government operative, whom you may recognize from his earlier adventures in Resident Evil 2's Raccoon City, is dispatched to rural Spain to locate Ashley Graham, the missing daughter of the President of the United States. Yeah, initially it seems a damsel in distress game, but the game's fusion with the survival horror genre creates an exceptional foundation for its outrageous set pieces. Ashley may be in another castle, but it's a castle plagued by parasitic infections and brainwashed cultists, necessitating your journey from a decrepit hamlet to a military base to rescue her. While the essential elements of intense, close-quarters combat and careful resource management remain comfortably unchanged, the story's character development improvements enhance the overall narrative. The remastered version of the game has undergone significant graphical improvements, resulting in a remarkable visual upgrade that elevates the entire gaming experience. The textures and lighting have been revamped to bring an added level of realism and depth to the game's environments, immersing the player in a stunningly detailed world. The character designs have also been enhanced, providing greater detail and nuance to the game's cast of characters. Each character's features and expressions are now more finely crafted, making them more relatable and memorable than ever before. In Resident Evil 4, the world is a gruesome, grotesque, and terrifying place. The game's ability to shift between heart-pounding tension and dark comedy without disrupting the overall tone is a testament to Capcom's skill, and one of the remake's most impressive achievements. The Ganado, Leon's formidable foes, are even more menacing and fearsome than before. Their erratic movements, sudden lunges, and brutal attacks have all been amplified, turning every encounter into a frantic battle for survival. As you struggle to fend off the horde, you'll often find yourself hopelessly outnumbered, dodging their attacks while scrambling for ammunition and medical supplies. The Ganado's movements are more realistic and weighty than ever, heightening the terror of being trapped and overwhelmed by their relentless assault. The arrival of Dr. Salvador, the chainsaw-wielding madman, serves as a grim reminder of the dangers lurking in this world. Watching him cut through the crowd, determined to rend Leon limb from limb, rekindles the same bone-chilling dread that made the original game such a classic. The tension and terror of these moments, punctuated by unexpected flashes of dark humor, create an unforgettable gaming experience that will stay with players long after the game has ended. The combat in Resident Evil 4 Remake is an ever-evolving. In one moment, you might rush headlong into a swarm of enemies, using a well-placed knife to take down a cultist before it transforms into a more deadly form. In another, you'll need to get creative, using remote mines to blow away groups of foes, or parrying Molotov cocktails back at their throwers, setting the whole crowd ablaze. But this playground of violence is far from static. With a greater variety of enemies, including some entirely new ones, each encounter is a fresh challenge, and each fight requires you to stay on your toes. Even returning enemies have been reimagined, giving them new tricks and abilities to keep you guessing. You'll need to be quick to keep up with the Ganados. The absence of tank controls means you can move more freely in combat, and new abilities like stealth and knife fighting add even more depth to the game's already varied combat. Each knife now has durability and can be used to parry enemy attacks or break free from their grabs. The action feels fast and fluid, a never-ending tango of weapons and resources, with each fight pushing you to the brink of survival. Resource management is still a key part of the game, with the fiendishly addictive attaché case system returning in all its Tetromino-esque glory. But even this has been updated, with the option to automatically sort your inventory if you'd rather focus on the combat. All of this combines to make Resident Evil 4 Remake an adrenaline-pumping, pulse-pounding experience that will keep you on the edge of your seat from beginning to end. The Resident Evil 4 Remake offers an array of side missions that add a fresh incentive to explore the game's world without disrupting its pacing. Some requests involve collecting chicken eggs, while others require hunting down more challenging enemies that demand backtracking. Completing these requests can earn you valuable spinel gems, which can be traded for treasure maps, upgrades, and resources. Far from feeling like a chore, these side missions are naturally paced with the game's narrative, lending a touch of story flavor to each one. As you wander through familiar environments with newly gained items, like special keys or devices that hold treasure, you'll find yourself becoming fully immersed in the game's world. Even when Leon's mission takes him to less visually interesting areas, the remake manages to maintain a delicate balance of bombastic action and nail-biting combat scenarios. Unlike the original game, where the experience could falter towards the end, the remake manages to keep things fresh by considerably changing the player's expectations. Some areas have been honed, trimmed down, and reorganized to fit better within the environment. For example, the blind, giant blade-wielding Garrador encounter has been better contextualized to fit within the torturous depths of the castle, resulting in an even scarier and more stressful scene than before. While there are returning boss fights, some have received significant overhauls, making them feel like new encounters. With each fight, you'll find yourself grinning from ear to ear, caught off guard by new additions, and audibly cheering when Leon delivers his most iconic lines alongside new ones that will become just as memorable. The remake perfectly balances the preservation of vital elements from the original while introducing exciting new ones that realize its full potential. So that's it today's review, and let me know what you think of this game because the hype is real. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel, it really means a lot. I'll see you next time, take care.